That's exactly what they want to do. They can cover it up how you want. The richest people in this country now, and there were 350,000 millionaires in Britain last year. 1 in every 180 people in Britain is a millionaire, and 500,000 people are going to food banks. What is going on in this country? And one of the things that Labour councils need to start thinking about is ratios. We need to have a ratio between the living wage and the top wage in the public sector. We absolutely need to do. Nobody needs to earn more than £75,000. A ratio of 5 to 1 would just about sort that out in local government. And we've got a situation now. I was in one London borough this week. I'm the national executive of Unison. I was in one London borough this week, and a third of the Labour councillors are not standing again. Not because of their age, because Labour councillors are 20 years older on average than they were 30 or 40 years ago, but because they think there's nothing they can do. All they're doing is administering pain. That's all they're doing. And that's why we're having this meeting, and that's why we're having this discussion, isn't it? Because we don't want to administer pain. I didn't start work with the council to administer pain. And people who first got elected, let's not be honest, there's a very few Labour councillors and Labour representatives stood there to get elected to administer pain. It didn't happen. But what happened on the way is the class system that exists in this country. There's 0.2% of the people in this country went to Oxbridge, 0.2%. Yet the leaders of all the 3 main parties went there. All 5 candidates in the Labour Party leadership election went to Oxbridge. There is no debate, there is no variety. The alphabet runs from A to Z, but the debate runs from A to B. Only A to B. And Chomsky's absolutely right. Noam Chomsky's right. 1% of the people in this country own it. 85% make the wheels go round. And 14% spend their whole time convincing you that the 1% deserve to own it, and you don't. That's what they do. Whether they're politicians, reporters, solicitors, newspaper interviewers, that's what they do, innit? And if you go on to Question Time, and brilliant people like John McDonnell and Owen Jones go on to Question Time, the object of the exercise is for the other 4 to try and tear them apart. When you put Question Time on the telly, you hope against hope there's at least one decent person there. And I switch it off within 3 minutes of its time if I don't see McDonnell or Owen Jones or whatever. That's what you do. That's ordinary life. Now, I spoke in Havering this week, which I didn't even know what it was till I went to speak there, in London. And I spoke about what's going on in local government. And some people said to me, you've got to be careful, Paul. It's a bit leafy in Romford and Hornchurch. You've got to be careful about what you say. I never got a better reception in my life than I got at that meeting. Because I started off by saying to people, excuse me, who in this room doesn't need to work on Thursday and Friday every week? Who in this room is deciding between 2 and 3 holidays? And it's a farce just because you've got a southern accent and they're in rows of board-up shops that you're not suffering. There were people talking to me, you know these people. There were people talking to me who said, I'm knackered, Paul. I've got a decent job in local government and I'm doing home care and nurse banking at weekend because I can't put it back together again. I'm travelling 50, 60 miles to work from Southampton or Brighton and I can't look after my own children. These are people who my father had good jobs. So if they're suffering, you've all seen the Labour Party poster from the 1920s, where we're all on the ladder and the bloke at the bottom's just with his head above the water, and somebody says we've all got to step down a rung. If people are suffering with decent jobs, what's happening to those people at the bottom? And they're completely unrepresented. They are unrepresented. Every time the budget comes on, they always hide the telly from me in our house, because it's going to go, the telly, big style. Because we want to know, don't we? We want to know what people like us think about the budget. Not some smart ass sat on the edge of a bloody desk with a bank of computers around them and in the shirt sleeves telling you about the rate of interest or what Goldman Sachs think. I want to know what ordinary people think. And I've been a Labour Party member now for 40 years, and I've been a trade union official for 40 years. And some people in the party and in the movement think that somehow there's going to be some dented shield. There is no dented shield. Socialism is on the agenda now. Not because the wind's blowing that way, because there is no alternative. Thatcher was right about one thing. There is no alternative. We cannot afford to carry on living like this. We can't. It's beyond belief. My daughter's 23-year-old. She works in the homeless persons unit for Wakefield Council. And she says to me, Dad, look, I've got a letter. I'm 23 years old, and it says you can expect to retire at 68 and a half. Did you get a letter like that when you were 23, Dad? I'll tell you what I got when I left school in July 1973. I got a lecture from a Labour councillor who taught me ONC. And what he said to me, Paul, these are the 5 biggest problems facing Britain. Number 1, all fuel will be free by the year 2000. Because of nuclear power and because of oil, we'll have free fuel. We'll be working a 5-hour week. You won't, and the biggest single problem facing us will be the building of leisure centres everywhere, because nobody will have any work to do. The motorways will be shut down, and we didn't have rollerblading then. The motorways will be shut down, and we'll be roller skating. And you won't know what to do with your time. You'll be learning a musical instrument and speaking a foreign language. Now, he was speaking a foreign language because what he said should have been true. Yeah. Absolutely should have been true at the 5th richest country in the world. And I don't want to hear people. Where is Neil Kinnock now with the obscenity of redundancies in Labour councils? Because there is an obscenity of redundancies in Labour councils now, and where are them people talking about it? Where he is he's a millionaire, his wife's a millionaire, and his son's a millionaire tax exile married to the Prime Minister of Denmark. So that's the situation. Some people have done very well, thank you very much. But the ordinary working people in this country have no alternative other than to combine with each other. They have no alternative because, like Billy Bragg says, money speaks for money and the devil speaks for his own. And only the movement comes to speak for the skin and the bone. And that's why people's in this room tonight, isn't it? Not because of... When I first joined the Labour Party, somebody said, a bloke from the NUM said to me, never join a party that meets on Friday night, Paul. It's full of boring bastards. And there's a lot of truth in that. You can bet your bottom dollar that the leaders of the main parties in this country are not meeting tonight. Certainly not any meeting that's going to be recorded and taped and sent to you. So I'll finish on this point really. I'm on the national executive of the biggest public sector union in Britain, 1.2 million people. I'm a member of the Labour Party, which is the biggest political party in Britain. And I'm faced with a situation where we need to return to where we were in the late 70s. When I joined the Labour Party, it was a debate about ideas. It was a debate about where we're going forward. It's a debate about how we could improve things, either in adult education, either in the future for our young people. Some perhaps told us that we needed to get rid of coal because it was dangerous. That's the 14% speaking again. We got rid of coal. There's more coal burnt in Britain now than there was in 1978. We got rid of coal because it was nationalised and they were on decent terms and conditions. If they'd have allowed it to be privatised on 0 hours contracts, this country would be steaming with the production of coal. Instead, it's being imported from countries that have 0 hours contracts and no terms and conditions. They don't give a toss. Clegg's dad is a millionaire banker. Cameron's father were an offshore multi-millionaire investment advisor. His grandmother was a Polish millionaire banker. These people front the system that we hate and we want to change. And why we're here tonight is because whether it's local government, whether it's facilities, whether it's about how our children go to school, we're about democracy and we're about socialism, or we're about nothing. And I say to you, but this is a sort of meeting that's going to spread over this country, because when you have any debate at work, when you have real debate among people, people really want to talk. They don't talk because everybody laughs at them in that 14%. And what we need to do is mobilise that 84%. Thank you very much.